Okay, welcome everyone. It's good to see people here. It's nice to be back again in front of FERC. My name is Melinda. I'm with Beyond Extreme Energy, and we also have folks here from Extinction Rebellion.
Talk more into the mic.
Extinction Rebellion, Third Act Virginia, and Institute for Policy Studies Climate Program. And we have, before we introduce the speakers, I just wanted to explain a little bit about what these beautiful folks for commissioners. They're actually having a hearing at this almost very moment at 10 o'clock this morning about the three commissioners. And as you can see, at least two of them would make things even worse at FERC, although they've gone on to be rubber stampers no matter what party they're appointed from. And over here are some wonderful grassroots leaders who are down at, at the front lines of fossil fuel build out, especially liquefied natural gas, LNG export terminals. And they're doing everything they possibly can to stop this build out, and we are here to support them. And they've often come themselves up here to talk to commissioners, so we want to have their backs. And the first person that I want to introduce is Maury Johnson. Maury is an organic farmer from West Virginia who has been fighting the Mountain Valley Pipeline for about 10 years. And through many ups and downs, we almost killed it several times, and then thanks to Joe Manchin, it came back again. So Maury's been really busy, especially lately, filing objections at FERC for what's happening on his property. So I'm going to turn it over to Maury and let him tell you all about it.
Go Maury!
Thank you, everybody here and everybody watching. Before I talk about the organic farm and the abuses of MVP and the fossil fuel industry to landowners, I got to mention a couple of things. First off, friends of mine down in Virginia, the Terry family, who's been fighting this pipeline, they had their land taken by eminent domain like a bunch of others, and they got a judgment, and then the Roanoke federal court struck it down because she loves pipelines and she don't like to have landowners get compensated. So they're having a case this morning in Richmond, Virginia. My heart's with the folks down there. So this is the many things we're fighting here. I'd also like to mention that since construction was greenlit and all of our constitutional rights were taken away from us to object to it, West Virginia DEP has done a little bit to try to help. We keep putting, I think I've filed like 100 complaints. They've actually gotten a couple of notices of violation in West Virginia. I saw a horrible oil spill this week right at the base of Peters Mountain, and I've got to check and see what they found out about that. Virginia DEQ has done absolutely nothing to stop the destruction in Virginia, and it's a shame. It's time to remove these people who are complicit with the fossil fuel industry and fail to do their job and protect the environment. I'm going to be a little easy on the DEP, West Virginia, because they have done something, a little bit. Virginia DEQ Attorney General of Virginia, you are a disgrace. Now that I've said that, I want to call out on Joe Manchin and Toby Rice's big lie. Oh, we can have this thing completed in 3 months. We knew that was a lie. Everything they have said since day one has been a lie. Joe Manchin does not care who and this pains me to say this, Joe Manchin does not care who he harms as long as he gets his campaign contributions and his fossil fuel buddies can make millions.
That's right.
And it pains me to say that because I've worked with Joe, and even though I didn't like everything he did, I kind of liked Joe. Joe Manchin, wake up. You're killing West Virginia. A couple other things. PHMSA, there's some good conscientious people there at PHMSA who's trying to do right, but they're hamstrung by the fossil fuel industry. We had a meeting with some PHMSA representatives in December. I can't say a lot of, at least they came. I've had them on my property a couple of times. At least they came. there's people that's trying to do something. Tristan Brown, you're doing nothing. They had a meeting this last week in Virginia with about 40 landowners. And I'll second what Red Terry said. I got $100 that says this pipeline will blow up and kill somebody a lot sooner than you think. I just hope it's not at Rainelle or in Nicholas County beside that elementary school that I'm so worried about. This thing is a ticking time bomb. Okay, investors. Can't leave y'all out. I've talked to some folks. Well, hopefully we'll have a meeting here soon with some investors and point out all the destruction of people and endangered species that they're financing, and the climate crisis. I just heard this morning, this past year was the warmest in record for like 12,000 years. And this year's already started out warmer. I just traveled up here from West Virginia through Northern Virginia where there was like 11 wildfires. You smelled the smoke here again in D.C. It was horrible. This is not a coincidence. Now, the reason I'm here, in 2015, when we started filing comments on the FERC docket, I started filing that I was an organic farm. We created the Monroe County Organic District, Monroe County. I'm a member of the Monroe County Organic District. The MVP filed a organic plan. Then I talked to contractors on the farm who had never heard of it, didn't even know there was such a thing. I did talk to one West Virginia contractor who, when he found out I was organic, called a meeting with his people, and they totally changed the way they were treating the property. It's been a fight to make them respect the organic designation of my farm. They get hung up on the word certified. Certified. Well, there is a certified organic way to do that. If you're selling lots of products and one thing or another, but there's also a way that a landowner can become organic and use the term organic without having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to do that. I will be attending the organic board meeting in Milwaukee this spring to talk to more about that, but they treat it to a certain extent. I was an uppity landowner, and they was going to show me who was boss. And so the month of December was horrible. All the rules, and as you can see the picture that I have filed with FERC, literally one morning they were fueling right on top of a stream where there used to be a sign that says no fueling within 100 feet of this stream. And then after they got in trouble for that, they put the sign back up. They are not following the rules. They're, like I said, industry knows that it's cheaper not to follow the rules and then say I'm sorry after they have a problem. Fortunately, there was an accident on the farm where a truck was run into. They spilled a little bit of something. Who knows what they spilled? You can't. I don't believe what they say. They'll tell you anything. But that's not the issue. The issue is the reason that they're not allowed to do that is because they could have had a major problem. They could have contaminated my aquifer in that cars. My aunt is severely allergic to stuff. They could have made me sick. They could have killed her. They do not care. So I've been asking for a meeting with the FERC commissioner. I'm actually going inside. Maybe that's going to get set up today. I was going to come in here and tell FERC I need to talk to them. I know these folks, so I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to try to work through the process, but I will have a meeting with a FERC commissioner or more than one. It will happen. I will not say no. As I told a friend, we're sick of it. Not just the people in MVP, but the people in the Gulf Coast, the people all over this country. We're tired of the fossil fuel agencies and some legislators taking our rights away from us, trampling on the Constitution, and disrespecting landowners so they can make a few bucks. In closing, to paraphrase some of our friends, we refuse to die. We're sick and tired of this, and we're not going to take it anymore. Thank you.
Thanks, Maury. That's
Closer to your mouth.
Thanks, Maury. Okay, next up is Drew, I think. Drew is gonna talk to us about the LNG problem.
It is a problem.
It's a problem.
So good morning, I'm Drew Hudson. I'm another member of Beyond Extreme Energy. I also work with a group called 198 Methods, which has been all this week promoting the UnFrackFERC campaign, as we're calling it. Our banner's across the street there. And the reason why we're here and we're talking about LNG is that FERC has a big fracking problem with liquefied natural gas and with fossil fuel exports in particular. Folks may remember about 2 years ago, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission was considering a new rule that would have evaluated the climate and environmental justice impacts of gas projects that they review and almost always approve. Under extreme political pressure from Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, who you just heard a little bit about, they withdrew that rule. And since then, they have never rejected a single gas application, and they have never evaluated, even considered the impacts on climate of these really, really huge LNG export facilities. Folks have heard a lot about the Calcasieu Pass 2 or CP2 project. That is a project that needs a FERC permit. And they have been applying for a FERC permit for about 3 years now. Some of the folks on these poster boards, Rochetta and James and others, have been fighting CP2 and of other LNG export facilities like it. Last month, right at the end of January, start of February, we had a big victory when President Biden paused the new export licenses that are issued by the U.S. Department of Energy. Those permits only apply to new LNG facilities and only if they're shipping internationally. You sell the gas to an international customer, they need a special permit from DOE. But they also need a permit from FERC to build the thing, to liquefy the gas, and to put it on the boat. And FERC has not stopped, has not even broken stride approving those projects again and again. Just a couple weeks after the Department of Energy paused LNG export permits, this agency, FERC, slapped through another approval for Driftwood LNG, another huge export terminal in Louisiana. This month, right now, they are considering another huge expansion at the Cheniere export facility in Texas. This place has already gotten 3 expansions. If they get the 4th expansion, then they will have doubled the amount of ship traffic and the number of LNG shipments that move through the community of Ingleside on the Bay in Texas. And we've got a poster board here from Charlie and Cindy, 2 of the folks from Ingleside on the Bay Coastal Watch Association. And we're here in part to help deliver more than 2,400 comments backing them up, asking FERC to do a full environmental impact statement, including environmental justice analyses of that Cheniere expansion that is still proposed. But so far, FERC has never considered that. They have met with environmental justice leaders, they have said they care about environmental justice, but they have never, ever done a single damn thing about it. And that is why we are here saying this is not going to work. FERC does not work as it is presently structured. And the new FERC nominees who are coming in, not one of them has committed to extend the DOE pause on LNG exports to FERC, if confirmed. Not one of them has said that they will stop approving fossil fuel infrastructure if they are confirmed to FERC. Not one of them has said that they will intentionally prioritize the development of renewable energy resources on the electric grid over fossil fuel resources like fossil gas. None of these commissioners is committed to real change at FERC if they're confirmed. The best of them, Judy Chang, at least knows something about renewable energy, but the other 2, including Democrat Andrew Rosner, have actually worked for the gas industry in the past. Rosner, as shown in a new research briefing from our friends at Friends of the Earth, actually was promoting LNG 10 years ago, before it was popular at FERC. He was saying LNG would be good for the economy and would not raise prices here at home. He was wrong. He's wrong then, he's wrong now, and he's wrong for FERC. The only reason he's being nominated is because he is Manchin's hand-picked Democrat. For the last couple years, he has worked for Joe Manchin and the Senate Energy Committee as a liaison to FERC. You know what happened during the time when Andrew Rosner was working as a liaison from FERC to the Senate Energy Committee? They got rid of the environmental justice rule. They got rid of the climate rule. They got rid of considering any impacts on climate change from LNG or other gas facilities. That was all while Rosner was doing his job, relaying between FERC and the Senate Energy Committee. Why would you trust that kind of person to make change at FERC? It is obvious that what Joe Manchin is really doing with these 3 nominees is he's putting his stamp of control on FERC permanently. Even after he leaves the Senate and he is no longer elected, he's no longer the chair of the Senate Energy Committee, he is going to be controlling this agency just like he has for the last 2.5 years. Controlling it by deciding who gets confirmed, by dictating the policies they can and can't consider, and by forcing them to ram through more gas infrastructure, which is exactly what they've been doing for the next several years. So we don't like the nominees for new FERC commissioners. We don't trust the people inside this building. And as Maury was saying, even when we know and we can document that these facilities are breaking FERC's own rules, they do not enforce the rules. They are not an enforcement agency, and they are not holding anyone accountable, and that is a huge problem. So we have any other speakers?
Okay, let me make another comment real quick. So, if you watch carefully Joe Manchin's newest press release, that him and Grasso are working on new permitting reform. I don't want any kind of permitting reform that Joe Manchin will do. We had the dirty deal that jammed the pipeline. Eventually, well, hopefully it'll get struck down. It may take several years. We're getting ready to see dirty deal number 2 when it comes to these LNG facilities. People need to speak up, quit being an ostrich, get your head out of the sand. The permitting that's getting ready to come down is, I can't imagine how bad it'll be, how it'll farther erode landowners' rights and ability to object to things. Do you agree with me, Drew?
Great. And so we'll head over to one more speaker.
So Vasav Sen is with us, and he is with the Institute for Policy Studies Climate Program, and also is the co-facilitator of an amazing coalition of more than 1,200 organizations called People versus Fossil Fuels. So Vasav, come and share your wisdom.
Thank you, Melinda. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'm here to talk about the elephant in the room in US politics that no one talks about: corruption and bribery. Senator Joe Manchin receives more than $700,000 in campaign contributions from the fossil fuel industry, more than any other federal legislator in the House or the Senate. Let's call this what it really is. It is bribery in broad daylight. The industry does not hand him this money just out of the goodness of their hearts. They hand him this money so he serves their agenda as the chair of the one committee in the Senate that has the greatest influence on energy policy in this country. And Senator Manchin uses his perch as chair of that committee to do exactly that. It is because of his role as chair of the Energy Committee that FERC has not been able to implement even the mildest of reforms to start to address climate change and environmental injustice. It is because of Manchin's so-called oversight of FERC that FERC continues to rubber stamp fossil fuel facilities, whether it is pipelines or liquefied natural gas export terminals, that sacrifice the health and the well-being of predominantly Black and Indigenous and low-income communities all along the Gulf Coast. And it is because of Manchin's so-called oversight that the fracking boom goes unchecked, because the fracking boom is feeding exports. Domestic demand for natural gas is actually growing very slowly, and the fracking boom continues unchecked because of US exports. And these are being rubber stamped by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. And it is again because of Joe Manchin and because of his corruption and the bribes that he takes that today we have second-rate fossil fuel hacks like David Rossner and Lindsay C., who have no business being regulators because of their ties with industry, who are now serious contenders to be commissioners on the commission that has oversight power over the natural, who has any power in this situation. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has appointed Joe Manchin as the chair of this committee, knowing fully well what Manchin's conflicts of interest are. And Schumer has shown no inclination to remove Manchin from this position or to hold him accountable for his corruption. What about President Biden? He is rolling over and allowing Joe Manchin to dictate energy policy for this country. Remember, it is Biden who nominated these three individuals. In other words, it is Biden who has allowed Joe Manchin to dictate that people like David Rosner and Lindsay Seed will exercise so-called regulatory oversight, in other words, deregulation of the natural gas industry in this country. President Biden, where is your spine?
Where?
Clearly, we have a problem of endemic corruption in this country that our political system is failing to acknowledge. And it is our role as social movements, as grassroots movements, as people's movements, to force our government to do what it is otherwise unwilling to do. And that is why we are here today. Thank you.
UnFrackFERC.
So we're going to end with a little song before we get in line to go in there. A lot of us who have been blue dotted are going to go to the overflow room. So this is called Do It Now. It's the tune to Bella Ciao, which a lot of people already know. I have the words here if you want to take a photo of it and sing with us.
I can sing it home.
Okay.
Just imagine a huge chorus of thousands of people on the internet singing along with you.
Anyway, the chorus repeats, so you'll pick it up really fast. We need to wake up. We need to wise up. We need to open our eyes and do it now, now, now. We need to build a better future. And we need to start right now. We're on a planet that has a problem. Got to solve it, get involved and do it now, now, now. We need to build a better future, and we need to start right now. Make it greener, make it greener, make it last, make it fast, and do it now, now, now. We need to build a better future, and we need to start right now. No point in waiting or hesitating. We must get wise, no more lies, and do it now, now, now. We need to build a better future, and we need to start right now. We need to build a better future, and we need to start right now. 20 years ago. Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks for all these gorgeous banners.
Did we get one picture? Did you get pictures? A picture?
I am going to stop the live stream. This has been, gosh, it's been a great press conference. Thank you so much to Basav and Maury and Melinda. And yeah, I'm going to stop the stream. So thanks for tuning in if you did.